All right, Tesla update here on the 11th. So at this point, this almost certainly is an impulse. Like, it can't be a WXY move. Let's just pull up WXY. So WXY is going to look like this. Well, 333 would be a little bit more. Let me go back. There is. Let's go to 333. So 333 was a possibility, but is not anymore. And a 333 would look like this. But you see how it's sideways? This looks sideways, but at the same time, this last wave got away. I'll give it a slim chance, but it's just too far of a fall and too little time. I think it's got to be an impulse. So I'll think about that when we actually bounce. But right now, I think this is an impulse. Let's go through it one more time. 1, 2. And it's just pretty easy. Whenever you use parallel lines, pretty easy. I'm sure the volume's up a little bit. Last video, the volume was up. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. Does not come back into the first wave. And then we tumble down here. If you take the second and the fourth, you'll see this goes through it, so that's got to be the end of the third wave. So now we're at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and we get a first wave down here, second wave potentially right here. There's two ways I guess this could look. I think that this is more than likely. Let's go to the hourly. Be easier to see. So 1, 2. It looks like this is probably the end of the third wave, actually, of the fifth wave. Using parallel lines again. A little bit different on the 15-minute time frame, but you can see here we hit the outside of it. We made 5 waves down, and it's slightly bouncing. It finished at 222. It's not a big bounce. Let's use parallel lines on this third wave, though, and just see. So it goes through right here. That's going to be the third wave, fourth wave, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here with some nested moves all the way down to this area right here. I would imagine the third wave is finished. But I would be ready for more downside. Even though it filled this gap, potentially is not finished. I'm going to watch the option flow because sometimes on these smaller time frames, it gets a little bit dicey. However, I'll point out this. We are in a 3-month demand zone now. So this is not the spot, or maybe it's 2-month. Yeah, 2-month demand zone here. Let's double check and make sure this does not come into the wave. So yeah, it's barely a demand zone, but it is. So this is a demand zone where you want to be buying all the way down to 206. So that tells me right there that this is not a spot to be shorting. It'd be very, very unlikely that we come down here and just go straight through with no bounces on even the daily time frame all the way through this 2-month demand zone. So right here might be a trick here pre-market, but I don't think that it's going to go through 206. If it does, then it's a crash basically. Like the stock of Tesla is like pretty much done with, I would say at that point. It's below all big moving averages. It's just falling off a cliff. RSI is over sold like crazy. Let's actually check that out real quick too. So let's use RSI 20. And RSI 20 is sitting at 23. The last time it was that low was January of 24, right before we got that big move in the China news. And the other time it was this low was in December of 22 when it crashed all the way down to 100 bucks. So we're in territory that we don't see very often here. June of 2019, March of 2016. Does not happen very often. So I just gave you a few reasons why it probably is not a good play to be shorting here or selling covered calls. There might be some more pain. Like I showed you, it could be a third wave. And it could just go, it could go like this. But let's say it does bounce. Let's actually get a good bounce spot. So a good bounce spot would be the 0.23 to the 0.38 fib. So let's say it comes up here to 234 today. And then makes one more wave down. I would expect it to be about the same length as wave 1. Which would take it down to 202, but I just showed you you're in a big demand zone, so I'd probably expect a very short fifth wave. So that's my thoughts on Tesla in a big monthly demand zone, historically oversold on the daily. On the weekly, you are not oversold, but getting down there. But they've never really had a straight line, except for right here, I guess, in 2013, 2014. So overall, this should be coming to an end here soon. And if it doesn't, then something is horribly wrong, because ridiculous move to the downside. The good thing is, I looked at the options yesterday, and let's see if I can pull them up. They were selling a lot of puts. They're selling some calls though too. They're buying calls, but they sold a ton of puts yesterday. There's one for like 26 million. Let's see. I'm not seeing it now. Maybe that was last week. No, they had to have done that yesterday. There it is. $25 million sell right there. 420 put for 321. They did that at 224. So they're saying, I'm going to either keep some premium in the next 10 days, or I just want the shares. They're basically saying, I want the shares, because that's in the money. They're going to get assigned on that. 25 million. And you can see all these puts. They did buy some calls here. They bought some puts too, but the sold puts were way, way higher. And they sold puts at the very end of the day at 223, 6.74 million. So I've just given like a million reasons why this should be bottomed here soon. The chart's saying maybe fourth wave, fifth wave down. You're in a monthly demand zone, 2 month. You're oversold on the daily historically. Weekly is getting oversold. The bearish things are we're below every moving average right now. And so by the end of the week, I would like this to reclaim, which should be very easy, or it should be very possible. Reclaim 248. It shouldn't be hard. For how far it's fallen, it should not be hard. Standard deviations too. Let's go back to that. You're at the very bottom of the standard deviation now too. So if I'm wrong and this is just a very extended triple three, it could be ready for a fifth wave. Otherwise, it's going to be A, bounce B, and you're going to get another C wave down here like that. Down here to the parallel line. From this parallel line probably. So if we bounce and then come lower, It would come down to here. Doesn't really fit with my overall market thoughts. We're either going to go higher or crashing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Tesla. On the daily, it's just overextended like crazy to the downside. Let's look at that. So if it is a crash, I guess that doesn't really matter. It can just keep on going lower. It's already at 4 or 5 standard deviations below the mean. And is it possible that we're still in a fourth wave? It's looking less and less likely, but it's still possible. Like I just showed you, it could be a bounce for a B and get like a minor C wave down here, and it could go ABC, 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 and then go like that up there for the fifth wave. I have this as a fifth wave, so if it is a 5-wave move, it's going to have to go here soon. It can't just be falling off a cliff every single day. Down 15% yesterday, and we're barely bouncing. This is, I mean, to be honest, this is a complete joke. This stock has been a complete joke. Nobody thought it was going to go this low. Another reason why I should have bottomed is it's filled all the gaps. There's no gaps left unless you want to come all the way down here to 145. So be careful shorting here. We'll watch the option flow. Should be at least a bounce to like 230, I would say. And if there's not, there's something horribly wrong with this stock, because this is really, really bad. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Tesla. It gets me kind of frustrated even talking about it, because it's such a ridiculous move. Such a ridiculous. I remember like on this Friday, I remember this Friday when we were at 420, and that was only about a month and a half ago. So it's gone down about 50% in a month and a half. And it's still not bouncing today. It's pretty unbelievable. Anyway, that's my analysis on Tesla. I'll put it out. Let's see what happens today.